Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, everybody. You are watching and listening to TV Spotlight on. I'm Jason Ikeler, and before we get started, we want to make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel right down there. And if you're listening on iTunes or SoundCloud, subscribe there and rate and comment as well. If you want to participate in the conversation today, we're using the hashtag Spotlight on because we have a very special guest. Singer-songwriter Celeste Buckingham is here.
Hey, how you guys doing? Hi.
Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
So this is your new single we're coming into, Unpredictable.
Yes.
Are you excited to get new music out?
I am very excited to get new music out. It's been a while, so I'm very happy to be able to release something.
We're going to dive into that in a second, but first we want to get to know you a little bit more. So we're going to put you in the hot seat. I'm just going to give you a bunch of random questions and just say the first thing that pops in your head.
All right, cool.
Okay, favorite app?
9gag.
What is that?
Oh, it's the coolest. It's a complete waste of time, but it's the greatest thing ever. Are you?
Our engineer Steven is into
yes,
that.
Fellow 9gagger. Hi. It's an entire community of people that share funny posts, news posts, and it's also got a culture of memes. It's like the next big thing with like online memes and stuff.
Oh, I feel so behind. I'm going to get on that.
Check it out. It's really cool. So that's got to be my favorite. I mean, besides like, Skype and texting, it's like my favorite app.
Song you wish you'd written?
Song I wish I'd written. Proud Mary by Ike and Tina Turner, or Bang Bang, Jessie J, Nicki Minaj.
I can kind of hear both of those influences in your music.
Into the room. Yeah, so
you should cover that.
I love songs with attitude. I love female songs with attitude.
Attitude and soul. You got a lot of soul in your voice.
Thank you.
Okay, coffee or tea?
Whew, that's a tough one. Because I had a dad who drank coffee only and a mom who drinks tea only.
Oh.
So I kind of get both in the house. I gotta
like
say
a chai
both.
tea latte?
Oh, no. My mom drinks classic black tea with special sugar.
I meant that's like the combination of both.
Yeah, I do like
that.
chai tea lattes, actually. It's my favorite thing at Starbucks, too.
The Oprah chai.
Yes.
I just had one. There we go.
Great.
Brought to you by Oprah. Worst habit?
Oh, God. I don't know if I should admit this. I smoke.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Oh, I'm not going to lie about it. I'm trying to quit, though. So
that's good, as long as you're trying.
I am trying my best, but that's like my worst. I used to bite my fingernails, too, when I was a kid.
Okay.
When I was little, I used to have that bad habit, so.
First thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
I make breakfast.
Are you a big breakfast eater?
No, I don't eat a lot, but I always eat something. I think it's really healthy for you to have something going in the morning. And I'm also told by like people who are into nutrition and healthy eating, and breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So I try to, and I used to not eat breakfast at all. So I try to do, I'll have like salmon with eggs and a piece of toast, or I'll have like a piece of toast with butter and jam. So I'm not a big breakfast, but I always have coffee or tea in the morning.
Probably especially when you're traveling.
Right. But you can also get that, when you go for breakfast at the hotel, or if you, you can get like scrambled. At least you can get scrambled eggs and bacon. So I get something
cereal.
in me. Yeah.
Last song you downloaded?
It was. Hang on. I've been downloading a lot of music recently. I have to say it was She Knows, Neo and Juicy J.
Oh, okay, that's good.
She Knows. It's. I like it. I don't know why. I just do.
And the last movie you saw?
Last movie I saw in the movie theaters, or just
wherever.
No, the last movie I saw was Kingsman. Secret Service.
Oh, was that good?
It was great. I loved it. It was so crazy action filled, and it was really cynical and sarcastic and funny. But Colin Firth was perfect in that movie.
Do you think you would ever do acting?
I have done acting. Yeah. I've played in like live action documentaries, and then I've played in like a full length feature film, and so I've done some of that. Yeah.
Do you think more of that is coming up in the future?
I'd love to do that. Music? I would love to, yeah. I've been doing a few auditions and stuff like that. I mean, right now the priority is the music, but I would love to get into acting. I really enjoy it.
And last time you lied?
Ooh, last time I lied. God. Well, I don't lie, but I just sometimes, like, you tell your mom, like, yeah, Mom, I'm on it, I'll do it, I promise.
And then you
kind of don't. Yeah, I think that's like I don't lie in general. I try to be honest.
That's good. Okay, let's start at the very beginning.
All right.
Talk to me about when you first got into music.
I mean, I've been singing since I can remember. My mom said when I was like a toddler, I'd run around coming up with my own song lyrics.
Oh, really?
And I mean, it was gibberish, but I always used to sing. And then when I was 6 or 7, I started my mom sent me to class to sing, like singing training, vocal training. So I've been singing my whole life. And I started writing when I was about 10, 11. I started like taking it seriously. I wanted to be a songwriter. And then when I was 15, I got into a reality show in Europe, which is something similar to Idol. It's literally almost the same thing. And that's when it kind of started, and I actually started working and doing it full time.
And you're one of the rare cases, I feel like, especially here, we have like 300 people come through Idol, and then maybe like 1 or 2 have a successful career.
Right.
What do you think sort of sets you apart from everybody else?
I think mainly just because I came from somewhere else. I mean, I'm American, but I grew up out of the United States.
Yeah.
And so I think that the benefit that I had was I could speak fluent English and write fluently in English, but I had, I speak more than one language.
Yeah.
So it really gave me the ability to do a lot more over there, because in Europe, they get very excited to have an artist that's local that can actually go worldwide, or has the potential to go worldwide. So I think that was like one of the huge benefits for me. And also the fact that I didn't really do cookie cutter. I tried not to do cookie cutter pop music. I was like, I want to do soul, and my influences are Janis Joplin and Amy Winehouse and and Bill Withers and James Brown and people with really big soulful voices. So I think that was the benefit that I had, was that I was in a foreign country, but I sang fluently English, but I was one of them. And then when I came here, it helped that, you're American, but you grew up somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's a benefit to kind of it's very beneficial to be a worldly kind of person, to have that experience.
Do you think it's harder to break into the music scene there or here? Or is there any
Definitely
here?
Okay. It's a lot harder because there it's not, and I hate to say this, it's not so corporate.
Okay.
And it's not such a large scale because, again, the countries in Europe are a lot smaller. And so you break in one, you break in the second. It's step by step, but it goes a lot faster and it goes a lot easier because people also there, it's not really defined by genre. If they like your song, they'll play it. If they don't like it, they won't play it. It's not, it's not pop enough, so we won't cover it.
On this radio station.
Exactly. There, it's like they'll play it regardless, as long as it's a good record and it gets them, people, it gets listeners coming in. So, but in the U.S., it's very much you got to target a specific genre of radio, then a specific genre of TV, and then you got to be in the right places. And so it's not that it's impossible, it's just a lot more complicated. And you really got to kind of weave your way through a lot of the like political, it's different for me. It's been strange kind of getting used to it, but I enjoy it all the same. As long as I get to share my music, that's all I really care about.
Is it hard to sort of keep your artistic integrity and then at the same time you're like,
I thought it was going to be hard, but I insist.
Okay.
I'm not a very stubborn person, but when it comes to my music, I get quite stubborn. And I found a producer the producer I've worked on this new record with, and a few other, the new album that's going to be coming out within the songs will be coming out the next few months. I agreed right from the beginning. I said, look, I have a way of doing things. I have a vision for my career and a vision for my music, and I need you guys. I'll be very willing to cooperate and make things work so it's commercial and so that people actually like it, but I'm not going to change who I am as an artist. You can't make me. And they said, okay, cool. And I say that to everybody I work with before I even start working with them. When we were talking, from managers to booking agents to stylists and makeup artists, I always say, look, I have a specific way I see myself as and want to present myself, and I need you guys to help me stick to that. And if you don't like it, then don't bother with me, because I don't want to waste your time and you don't want to waste my time.
Well, and at the end of the day, it's your face on everything and your
exactly.
voice. So
and it's my life. It's my career, and I'm putting that out there. And it'll always come back to me. Nobody else is going to get blamed if something goes wrong or something's uncomfortable or not nice or unkind or ugly, or what I mean. It's all going to come back to me. So I need to make sure that where I am is where. And I honestly want my fans to be happy with me. But at the end of the day, I am a human being, and I need to be happy with myself. So I'm stubborn with that. Yeah,
that's good though. So you started out writing a book before you ever wrote a song.
That is true. Yeah, my sister and I wrote a book when we were kids. How did you know that?
I did my research.
Wow. Yeah, I was 12 or 13, and my sister she's 3 years younger than me, and she's also a songwriter, a book writer. She does, she wants to study. She's graduating high school. She wants to go study pre-law.
Oh, wow.
So she's into she's very verbal, very good with her words. And then I was a songwriter from a very young age. So we wrote a fairy tale book together when we were kids, and my mom helped us out, and we actually got it published. And it's called The Lost Princess. And it's a really cute story about, this actually, we came up with the Frozen idea before Frozen 2000 came out. I mean, it's not a novelty thing. It's like two sister princesses, and you know, the one sister gets lost and the other one has to go find her and goes through all these crazy cute adventures. So yeah, that's amazing that you know that, by the way.
It's really cool.
It's a rare book to find. We haven't published it in a really long time.
So then, do you think that sort of influenced your storytelling in your music? Because I feel like when I'm listening to your music, it's not just like corny pop songs. Like it's actually like
thank you.
Meaningful.
Well, I try to put, you know, I'm not trying to be a philosopher here. I'm not trying to be like, oh, look how grand I am with my lyrics that mean something. I honestly just put my life into my work. And it's the way I feel. Like I actually started writing because I had a hard time talking about myself. You know, I wasn't the quiet teenager, but I was very uncomfortable with my emotions, as a lot of people in puberty are. It's very normal. You know, you're uncomfortable. You're experiencing all these new things. You don't know what to do with it. My parents don't understand me, and the whole 9 yards. And so that was my way of. I didn't rebel. I didn't get angry at people. I just put it into music. And so that was how I started writing ever in the beginning. And I just continued with that. And to this day, I express things that have happened to me, good and bad, in my music. And also things that have happened to my loved ones and my friends and even people on the streets. I actually saw a couple one day on the street, and they were just the way that they were together and the way that they were behaving, which was beautiful. It was really romantic and very sweet. And I went home and wrote a song about it, and it's actually a song on one of my first albums is about this couple that I just saw for 5 seconds on the street. So I think human emotion is what inspires me, because that's the most relatable thing in the world, and it's also something that we all, regardless of who we are, where we're from, or whatever, we all deal with that at some point in our lives.
Do you think you would sing if you weren't writing your own songs?
No.
I know you hear. Okay.
I refuse. I've actually been offered songs from other people, and I will work with them if they let me co-write on it. Yeah. I will co-write with people. I've co-written a lot of stuff, but no, I feel uncomfortable because it's just not me. It doesn't feel like me. It's not honest. Yeah. You know, it's not, and my voice doesn't come from. I'm primarily a singer. I'm primarily a songwriter. I'm not an entertainer. I'm a voice of something. I speak for something, which is my soul and my identity. Yeah. So it's kind of hard for me to sing songs. I will cover things. Yeah. I will cover things, no problem. But even then, I'm picky with what I cover because I need to be able to find myself in that record. I need to be able to relate to it. So generally, I've written everything I've done, either written or co-written with someone.
That's cool, though.
Yeah,
it's refreshing to hear that in pop music.
Thanks.
Who are some of the artists that sort of inspired your songwriting?
Well, songwriting-wise, funny enough, early years, it was Kelly Clarkson when I was a kid. Because she was the first Idol winner, and I was about 12 or 11 when that happened. And I lost it. I loved her so much. I loved her first album, her second album. I love all her music. And she's just so, that voice is very powerful. And the lyrics were great too. I mean, you know, the song Breakaway that was written by Avril Lavigne is like one of the greatest pop songs to date. And I loved that record. And I thought it was just so honest, you know, trying not to, she says something in the lyrics like, you know, trying hard to speak out, but when I try to reach out, feels like no one will hear me. Mm-hmm. And I just, as a 12-year-old listening to that record, it was just so powerful to me that a female artist could go out there and say something like that. So it was Kelly, and also, but the delivery was amazing. Kelly could really sing, and she still can. So, and then when I got older, I started doing more research into older music and classics. So people like, lyrically and voice-wise, Frank Sinatra, Janis Joplin, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, you know, Heart back in the day. I'm a really big AC/DC fan.
Oh, really?
I am, because it's hard to hear sometimes, but their lyrics are phenomenal. They're really great. Like Highway to Hell is such a great song, and not only because of the performance, but the lyrics are great. And it speaks a lot. It says a lot. You know, it's like, no stop signs, no speed limits, nobody's going to slow me down. I mean, it's great lyrics. And then newer artists, Adele, Amy Winehouse, Joss Stone. I love Sam Smith. I am currently very much in love with Sam Smith.
Yes,
I think everybody is. At this point, just anything with heart and soul, anything, even if it's not my genre, anything with heart and soul, I will listen to.
That's cool.
And Queen, I forgot. Queen was a huge influence. Freddie Mercury is my god, basically.
He is. I think he is God.
He is God.
So fast forwarding a little bit, you get on X Factor, and then or American Idol, whatever we're going to call it.
The same thing.
Same reality competition show. Yeah.
Language is different, and the judge panel is different because we have different celebrities over there. That's the only difference.
But other than that,
it's even the same logo. It's the same.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So then you have your first album come out, and Run blows up.
Blows up, yeah.
What was that experience like?
It was nuts, because it was a literal, and I know everybody says literally, but it was literally an overnight success thing.
Yeah.
We released it. without a video, by the way, because we didn't even have the money for a video. We just released the song, and people were sharing it. They were blowing up radio station phones like, you need to play this record. And 2 weeks later, we scrambled to film a music video. We got the music video out, and it just changed my life. It got me. I'm sitting here right now because that song happened.
That's crazy.
And I wrote that song at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, really?
Because I couldn't sleep one night, and I was like, I'm kind of drowsy, and I was like, I can't sleep. And I was like, I'll just pick up on my out of tune guitar at 2 o'clock in the morning, trying to be quiet so I don't wake everybody else in the house up. I was like 16. Yeah, 16. And I wrote Run, Run, Run. And the next morning I played it for my sister, and she said, this is going to be good. And my sister's my biggest critic. So if she says it's going to be good, it's going to be good. If she says it's bad, it's bad. And then we went and recorded it, finished it up, and it just happened. It just magically happened.
And it went everywhere.
It did.
Do you feel like now, because now we're working on the second album, and that's usually the one that everybody's like, it's the make or break album. Do you feel like you have to recreate that sound, or how do you go from there?
I feel like an artist should constantly reinvent him or herself.
Okay.
And I'm not saying like go pull a 180, but I think it's a constant evolution. I think it needs to move on. And so I've done 2 albums in Europe. The first one was where Run, Run, Run was involved. And then I did a second one, which was kind of more of an evolution of that. I was growing up because I was literally growing. I'm still growing, but I was a teenager aging to, becoming more of a woman or an adult. And now that I am kind of an adult, I did this album. And I think that this one is more of an expression of what I've been through this career, because I've been working for 5 years.
Yeah.
And the album is really very much about how it can get hard sometimes, but then you realize, you start doubting yourself as an artist. There's always that period in your career where you start thinking, maybe I'm not doing the right thing. Maybe I shouldn't be here. What if I'm not good enough? Yeah. And I had that moment last year. I had a crazy year for 2014, and this album came from all that. And so it starts with, the album has a whole pattern. Okay. So it starts with being like, kind of starting to doubt yourself and being like, oh, it's hard, which is one of the first records. Unpredictable is one of the first records on the album. And it's also like, I can't take this. It's too unpredictable. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen. And then it goes into these ballads where it's like a reflectory part where you're thinking like, what should I do next? I've got to get out of this. I got to figure out what I'm going to do next. And the album ends with a few anthem records where it's like, I think, I love that kid story when I was a kid, the little train that could. Yeah. Is that what it was called? Yeah. I think I can. I think I can. And so those albums, those last songs on the new album are like that. They're kind of anthem building. You can do this. And I think everybody can find themselves in that. And not everybody's in the music industry, but I think everybody has had those moments in their life.
Regardless, yeah.
Right.
So you recorded it in Nashville?
No, I recorded it in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I worked with a producer named Earl Cohen, who is a little bit more old school, but he's done some of the biggest records you've heard. I'm sure everybody's heard some. Like he did Destiny's Child records. He worked with Whitney Houston. He worked with Angela Baker. He worked with, and the most recent thing he did was the Fame record for Lady Gaga. Okay. So he's worked with a lot of big female artists, and then he's also worked with a lot of big male artists. But what appealed to me is we met and we clicked right away. But also is just that he was really willing to push the boundaries and try something new for me as an artist. Because I walked in there, they thought I was going to write another Run, 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 and I ended up writing other things. And they were totally cool with it. And they made sure we kept commercial, but it was very freeing experience. I really enjoyed it. So that was, that's what I've been doing for the last 6 or 7 months.
Talk to me about that experience, because I can imagine it's not easy being vulnerable with somebody you don't know. And then, or maybe you're used to it, but...
It's not. It never gets any easier. You kind of get used to it because you have to, because in order to get things done, you can't spend 6 months getting to know someone. You need to get to know them like that. But it's never easy because you're bearing as a songwriter and as someone who puts soul into their music, and I'm not saying like soul is in the music, I mean my actual soul into the music, it's hard. It's hard to open up to people. I cry in the studio during sessions and stuff, not because nobody's bullying me, nobody's being mean to me, but it's such an emotional experience to write about your life that, and also I'm not crying. When I say cry, I don't mean like just because I was upset. I'd get so happy that I'd start crying. And so, I'm not a crier. I'm not someone who gets emotional, but whenever I get in that zone, it turns into that. I get very sensitive and very aware of, you're talking about you and you're giving this, and this could possibly be shared with the world. I mean, it's very powerful to think about it. But I enjoyed every minute of it, because that's the thing, you kind of have to find the right producers you click with. And once you do, it's a very comfortable space because
cool.
it's very easy to do it then, and it gets easier with time as well.
It's nice to hear that too, because I think you always hear about people like getting the successful single and then they have a bajillion people telling them what to do. But you're still taking control of it.
Well, I only have that freedom because I'm an indie artist. I've chosen not to get signed right away. I've chosen not to be involved with that not because I'm against it. It's a great way to become a big artist.
Yeah.
All these major artists are signed to labels that support them and give them a lot of feedback and financially also it's a huge backing. But at the same time, I think that right now I still need to be creatively free.
Okay.
Because I have a vision for what I'm going to do. It's not just, I want to get this song out. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
There's a whole process to what we're doing here. And I don't want to make it sound all shady, like we have plans, but we know what's going on. But there's more to it. There's a whole story to this album and to the song, Unpredictable.
Yeah.
We just filmed the music video, and I wrote the script for the music video.
Oh, that's cool.
So, because I knew what I wanted. It wasn't like, let's make a music video where I just dance around for 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's like, let's do something that tells a story. And hopefully everybody can find themselves in it. So, yeah, it's a wonderful thing to be. It's a lot of hard work. I'm busier than a lot of people I know that are artists because I'm in charge of a lot of different things. I'm like my own creative director, so I'm on my own A&R person. So, and for those of you who don't know, an A&R person is like the head of the creative department in a label that works directly with the artist on imaging and branding and from photo shoots to video shoots to album covers, all that. So, and the music especially. So, I'm my own A&R person, and it's a lot of work, but I think it's worth it because I get to be who I want and who I really am.
Do you think you're going to eventually go after a major label?
I think so eventually, yeah. I mean, I'm not against it at all, and I'd love to because it opens so many doors.
Yeah.
It opens so many doors for an artist, and especially I'm in pop, so you kind of need that. If you're an alternative or you're a punk or an alternative punk band or punk rock band, it's a little bit different because that is the gritty side of the music. It's the only authentic side of the music business anymore is like the alternative rock scene or like the punk scene because it's still that's where it started and that's where it stayed, which is great because it's all based on touring and the fan base and being really close to the fans and recording in a garage studio and pop is a lot more polished and clean in a way that is almost plastic.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to, if you want to get in the plastic and break the mold, you have to get into the plastic first. And that's why a lot of beautifully, wonderfully talented artists go in there and do one really plastic record, and then when they do really well, they go and do their own thing.
Yeah.
I mean, but I kind of don't want to do that.
Well, it's actually interesting listening to your
music
that the vocals are still raw,
Right.
which is not common in pop music to not have everything super produced and sound
But
the same.
then again, you have people like Sam Smith and Adele who broke that mold because they had really pop productions, but they stuck to the voice was 100% honest. You hear Sam Smith, you think he's crying in the mic, which is amazing because you don't get that in pop music anymore. Or Adele, I mean, she makes grown men cry. That's what I want to do. I mean, I don't want to make people cry. I'm sorry, but that's not
cry
what I mean.
happy tears.
But cry happy tears, exactly. But I mean, I really want to evoke some kind of emotion, and I really want to be able to be honest because if people don't like me for who I really am, might as well not do this job.
That's true. So is there one song on the new album that kind of speaks to you the most?
Oh yeah. There's two actually.
Okay, tell me about both of them.
So they're hard to explain because they're so different from each other. It's weird. And I'm going to freak people out and think the album is like one big roller coaster ride of songs. But one of them is called Machine. And it's a ballad. It's a guitar ballad. We did it with a guy who's Sting's guitarist. His name's Nick, and this cool cat who just amazing guitarist. And he walked in. He's like, "I'm gonna play something you sing," and that's how we write. So I wrote a song called Machine, and the song is it's about being vulnerable but not being able to show it. Where you're in a world where you're gonna hurt people, or you're gonna disappoint someone, or you're gonna ruin something if you show how vulnerable you really are. And the chorus says, "I'm not a machine. I want to break through. I want to love you, but I bruise and I bleed. I want to love you, but I know it's no use. But I'm not a machine." And that's the chorus of the song. So it's really about.
That's good.
Thank you, but it's really, I think we all go through that.
Yeah.
I think we all go through a moment where it's just like, I wish somebody would pay attention. I wish somebody would come and help me, but it doesn't happen. And then it's hard. You do survive it though. You do survive it, but when you're in that moment, it's very hard. And then the second song is called, Gods of War.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I know. That name tends to scare people. It's a crazy mashup of Sparta 300, the movie, meets Queen meets a little bit of AC/DC meets a little bit of Lorde kind of thing, and we didn't do that intentionally. It was just like it happened.
Yeah.
And that song is an anthem song, and it's kind of a dark. It goes into that like dark place, and it's an anthem song. So it's not depressing. But it's like we are the gods of war, and it's like this big scream, like big hollering anthem.
Cool.
So I love that record because it's just so empowering to me. I feel like pumped. I'm like, yeah, I can do this, you know. So that's why I like that record.
Do we have a release date in mind?
For the album, not quite yet, but we do have Unpredictable is out and will be out officially very soon. It's already available on iTunes, so you guys can check it out. And the music video will be out next week.
Okay, awesome.
And as for the album, we're going to wait, but we're going to be putting out these songs one by one. So you guys will get to hear them. Absolutely.
And then do we have plans for a tour?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet. It's all very sudden. We're kind of releasing the song very quickly, and we're kind of waiting to see what happens. So, well, we're not waiting. We're doing a lot of stuff on the side, but yeah, I mean, very soon there will be dates very soon. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in
Thank
today.
you so much for having me.
Go ahead and plug your website, plug your social media.
Website is celestebuckingham.com. If you'd like to get any social media content or personal content, you can go to Celeste Buckingham Official. That's the Facebook page. And Instagram and Twitter are the same thing. It's CEL Buckingham, Cel Buckingham. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thanks again. If you guys want more from AfterBuzz TV, you can find it on AfterBuzzTV.com or Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at AfterBuzz TV. Don't forget to buy Unpredictable on iTunes.
Yes, thank you.
For Celeste, I'm Jason Ikeler. We will see you guys back in here next time.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.